Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 38th episode of the sensational ArtaCast with LD and me. And really exciting one because we are now looking or pretending and make some hopes about the future when we get the rotation and the reprint that will come. So we will have a big chat about that today. Um, and yeah, the set championship season also began, and I played my first set championship. I think you didn't, LD, but did you play a bit of Lorcana still, or how is your impression of the current meta? If you have a few over that, and yeah, how do you feel with the game?
I mean, general view of the meta is kind of unchanged from last week. Feels super open. It's been interesting seeing the deck list come in from the week one of set champs. I didn't. You're right. I didn't get to play one. I was away this weekend on a camping trip and doing what British people do. When the sun comes out, which happens for like 2 to 3 days a year. We all just sort of like run into a field and everyone drinks loads of alcohol. So that was sort of the theme of the weekend. And if you follow me on Twitter, I just was tweeting a lot more than usual, basically because I was hot and drunk. And so
That's a good
hopefully the
reason.
thoughts made some sense, but maybe they didn't. No, I had a great week, and I did play and test quite a lot. Um, and the decks that I liked before, I'm still pretty high on. Like I love Green Purple Tempo, I love Green Purple Discard, and I also love Purple Steel. Both Dock and Rabbit builds. So sort of like that's completely unsurprising and completely predictable because those are like my four favorite decks. Um, but they all feel good, and people seem to be having good results. You played in a set championship though, right? You got to play one this weekend.
Yes, I had the worst outcome that you can imagine.
Yep.
I got second, lost in the
Yep.
finals. No, I had a pretty good run. I posted here. It's like I went undefeated to the Swiss and was first seed then, and also faced some bad matchups and even beat them. So I was really happy um about my run, and then top eight against Purple Steel also won, and then Green Yellow Discard. That was a very close game. That Green Yellow Discard, wow, that was crazy. He played four times this Lewis,
Yep.
and that is Lewis on my Flynn is like is like a nightmare. If you don't have a crab, then
Yep.
yeah, it's so
It's very
frustrating.
bad news.
Yeah, and so it was very close. I think we are on the play still good favored in that matchup, so it's like can deplete your hand really fast, and then it's like hard for them to get that much value. But of
Mm.
course, the muses and stuff are still there, and it's like a hard. It was very really cool because I was like, we had now on Saturday. I couldn't. I didn't have time to play a set championship, so we searched yesterday where is one, and I live in the border to France, and
Hmm.
there was a tournament like 50 kilometers from me, like in France, and then my friend of me we said like because my friend speaks French, and then we thought like okay, come we drive there, and then we drove there. It was really cool, and they were really kind to me, although I don't speak any French, and were talking English with me and stuff. And it was it was a really nice environment, and I really
Nice.
enjoyed it. And big shout out if you hear it in the fun games in Strasbourg. And yeah, and then I lost in the finals. Was a good player and was a bad matchup for me against Blurple.
Mm.
2-1, lost kind of close. But yeah, it's okay. Generally, it's totally fine. But then second place is like the big loser of this set championship season because like yeah,
Yep.
you don't get one mat. But
Maximum time invested for minimum reward is what I
yeah,
always say. It's like
yeah,
I either want to O2 drop. That's the
Uh-huh.
earliest you can. That's the earliest you can get home. Or I want to lose immediately in the top 8. That's
Mm-hmm.
minimum work for your promo.
Yeah.
Or or win.
Or win.
Anything else? There
Is
are 3
this?
outcomes. They're all quite different. There are 3 different ways to win at set
Yeah.
championships. You either get home early, get a promo without staying any longer than you need to, or get the mat. Anything else is a bad outcome as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I felt really confident because I was like first seed, and I think green purple tempo is really really good on the play. And then, but yeah, it's sometimes like that, and it was a good player, and purple is a bad matchup, and
Yep.
I don't I was still happy, and the field was really really versatile. There were nearly no red decks existing. There were a lot of steel songs, a lot of blurples, and a lot of purple steel and stuff. Like I just like we predicted, and some red purple still, red blue. I don't know if any red blue was there. I can't remember at least. And yeah, so I think it's like pretty hard to say. What is like? I think just play what you like. It's so hard to say how the power level is on the current meta. I think it differs from tournament to tournament, probably like what you face. And I was kind of happy with my deck. I still think I played my versatile list, and I think it's very close to that what Primer also played. I think it's nearly solved for me, and I think it's a very good pick for set championships because like this early aggression some decks really struggle against, and then even against Blurple I played against the same person on the in the Swiss, and then there I beat him 2-0 because like yeah, it's not that bad. It's not a good matchup, but it's like you can save all your. They don't pressure you too much, and then you can save all your goats and go-go's, and then it's like
Yep.
sometimes still good possible to beat them.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
winnable. Yeah.
yeah. The bells were really crushing me, and what also really crushing me was the he played like Into the Unknown. That was really really hurting me on my genie, and then yeah, he was like able to he was able to stop me really good, and then in the final spot, yeah. So I could say we could be very happy about the meta game because it's like pretty diverse, but it's like every deck every set the same. We think the meta is good, but it's also not good. Yeah, that's that conclusion
Yeah.
we always have, like, nearly
Exactly.
every
Yeah.
set.
Yeah, because like your main measure of a good metagame is diversity and the ability to play as many things as possible.
Yeah.
But as we've kind of concluded before, I never realized this until we kind of worked it out through talking to each other. But the reason what for me at least why that never feels good, even though it is good, is because a broad field means you will have some bad matchups. You can't hedge for everything, and so you have some matchups that you will probably obsess over and hope that you don't see as
Mm-hmm.
much as others, and it becomes very hard to solve for a wide metagame. So if you're like a competitive player that really likes to make sure you've got the best deck for the day, you're open to playing a lot of different things, you like to make weekly, monthly reads on the meta and play something that you think lines up well into it, it's way harder to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're much better off playing like any one of 10 plus decks to a high standard that you know well in these kinds of environments. So it's both great and terrible
Mm-hmm.
because the sort of edges for not tech choices but techier field relevant deck choices are not so much there. Which like that's what I like to do. I like to look at a metagame and think, right, well, what cuts through this? The answer right now is not really anything. Because it's so flat and so wide, sorry, and you are always going to have some sort of bad matchup. Interestingly, though, can chart a couple of upticks in some decks, especially green purple discard. I've been
Mm-hmm.
seeing tons of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
loads more talk around it, loads more people posting lists of it, and this kind of comes, green purple discard is not a new deck, but this comes in the wake of we had the CCS the PPG tournaments in Texas last weekend, and on the Friday it was won by Jordan on Green Purple Discard, and put up a great showing with that. And I think it's put it on a lot more people's radar, especially in North America. I kind of made the joke on Twitter that like Jordan, did you watch the tournament at all? Did you see that?
No.
PPG. Okay, so Jordan is wearing this huge cowboy hat
Mm-hmm.
that looks like awesome. It's like if you like asked AI to generate an image of a card game tournament in Texas, that's like what it would give you. Like a guy at a table with a massive cowboy hat, and yeah, so it's like brilliant. Yeah, I said like I tweeted something to the effect of, it seems to me like players in North America, they just won't respect a deck until they see someone win with it wearing a cowboy hat, which seems to have happened. But all of that to say, this deck's seen a big uptick, and people are really high on it. And the reasons most widely cited are like, has good angles into Amber Steel and good angles into Red Blue. So if that really is seeing a proper surge, then I'm more drawn to decks like Red Purple Shark, that. But you know, it's a little late in a metagame to be hedging like that. But certainly, if the field got dense with that kind of thing, I'd feel way better about playing a Shark deck.
Yeah, I also played Green Purple Discard a bit, like last week with Diablo and without Diablo and stuff. So, and yeah, it's I don't want to hate it because that's not. It's just not the deck for me. Like I don't. But that's fine. And I think I just accepted it a bit that it's not the deck for me, and that's fine. But I think it's a strong deck, and it's also a very. How can I say? The good thing about it is it's the very. For me, it's like it's the most consistent oppressive deck. That's that's a good way to describe it. I think.
Yep, good observation.
For me personally, I know it doesn't. No, come. We changed the topic. No, I think it's like you
were doing so well. You were just saying that you've been playing it. You were just saying you're starting to like it, and now you can't resist.
I didn't start to like it. I didn't start to test it.
Oh, okay. You didn't enjoy it. You forgive me. I always think if you've won with it and start to think it's good, I read that as you liking it. But no, you still hated the whole experience.
And I didn't hate it. I think it's it is like it was very after very it was like boring to me after a while because I think it's a very, and I know every Green Purple Discard player will not hate me, but it's like will not agree with me now. But I think it's still like very linear. That's my opinion. Every card in this deck is discard or removal. Every card in this deck, and every card does nearly the same a bit. Like it's like, and that's like not very. I think the mulligan is very easy. I think it's like it's not very. If I compare this to if I would like to make me perfect on one deck, it's very much more appealing to me to learn green steel discard for me because like it's like like I have so much more angle and depth, and it's like I can go for for Beast and for Ursula and for Diablo and stuff. It's, I don't know. I can't explain it, and I really don't mind people liking it. That's not what I want to say. It's like it's a good deck, and but it feels for me personally, and I think I accepted it a bit, like not the deck I want to play. But that's fine. I think that's good. It's good to observe that if you have to find decks that you don't enjoy also. Because also you played, nice. For example, you played at least maybe a bit red blue and then thought, okay, yeah, it's not a deck for me, like, you know.
I go back to it every now and again. I think every time I end up thinking red blue is really well positioned, I have another go at playing it. fully concluded this is not for me for a multitude of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't support the way that I make decisions. Doesn't support the way I try to think through game plans. And just it's not my skill set. It's not my. I don't find it engaging. Some of the failure modes are like, we tend to think in terms of what you enjoy most.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does a deck have the qualities that you enjoy? I often find it more useful to think in terms of how much do the failure modes of this deck annoy me, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, if for example something happens like you
Mm-hmm.
miss turn 2 ramp with a deck like
Mm-hmm.
Blurple, that is extremely annoying to
Mm-hmm.
me because it was purely draw dependent and completely changed the flow and outcome of the match. I want high agency. I would much rather lose a game due to pilot error, playing
Mm-hmm.
a really flexible tempo deck that's kind of like 50% into the field,
Mm-hmm.
than I would something with higher matchup variance and a more varied matchup spread, losing to something like draw. So I sort of think in terms of minimizing my tilt rather than maximizing my fun, and often the two go hand in hand. So that's useful, but yeah, I find it useful to think that way, and that's why I recognize these patterns in decks like red blue and in
Mm-hmm.
Blurple sometimes that I just think this is really like there are things about this I like, but I know it's not for me, and I need to stay away
Mm-hmm.
because it's not going to gel with how I want to play the game.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And yeah, for me it's always like aggro. For me it's always aggro. Like I don't want to lose against aggro. That's always like a very important thing for me in a deck. I know I played red purple in the past and was not very good into aggro, but it has like I don't want to play my opponent play the Daisy and I start my game playing turn 2 Tipu or stuff. That's what I really don't enjoy. And yeah, so everyone has like his preferred. But for the next season, I usually want to not have this anymore. I think you will not completely like delete that, but to some extent, I just want to play the best deck and not want to play the like what I don't enjoy. If I think what I don't enjoy the most is probably still like decks like Green Zero stuff that have some Giga Bricks in your deck and your opponent slams 2 Smees and you have to slam a Prince Sean on turn 3 and don't know what to do with your life.
Yeah, I've been there.
And but yeah, I think it's for me personally, like the last weeks, I accepted 2 things. First of all, you have your preferences, you won't completely delete that. But you can overcome these preferences by sometimes if it's really depending on a big tournament and you are really sure that something is better than your beloved deck, for example, then I jump to that for sure. I will not so I will try to maximize my chances for everything in the future. Yeah, kind of obvious, but it's like and again before the repurple discard haters starting, like I know that in every deck there are decisions, it's like there's no deck that has no decisions, and I know the mulligan is like you can still some decks against some matchups you don't keep Diablo and stuff, but it's like in comparison I found it more easy to mulligan, just as a conclusion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be angry at you for saying that. I'm not.
It's like our
so that's good.
It's like our old problem. Like we always think someone is angry and nobody is angry at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like last week when you remarked on that you were scared you were talking too much, and then like nobody cares
Bobby,
even a little bit, and then Bobby was saying, like laughing at you for suggesting you talk too much on your own podcast. That's kind of that's how we operate.
I talk too much in comparison to you. That's what I wanted to say. But yeah, it's like it's funny. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we covered the meta stuff. I think it's not necessary to talk about it too much. We covered it last week. There are a lot of decks viable. Play what you enjoy. I wish you all good luck in your set championships. Yes.
Yep.
But for today, we prepared some cool stuff. I hope you will like it. And it's like, how can I say? I just pretend. How is it pretension? Is that word exists?
Predictions.
Predictions of the. Sorry, predictions of the future. What cards will be specifically for set 9? What will be there? And we have like 3 categories. Like, we prepared both 5 cards that we think will be reprinted, 5 cards that we want to be reprinted, and 5 cards that we don't want to be reprinted.
Yep.
And I think we will go through all of this. Which category would you like to start? Or is there
I was just
anything?
thinking. I was just thinking about this, and I think it actually makes sense to start with the cards that we think will be reprinted, like
Mm-hmm.
likely reprints,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that lays out the sort of foundation for what we see as a good reprint. Like
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah, that sounds
we
good. Yeah.
don't know anything about Ravensburger's reprint policy and what their sort of internal thinking is on what constitutes a good or likely reprint, but we've played the game for a long time, and I think there's a balance to be struck. So yeah, let's maybe start there. I'm really interested, by the way, across all of these to see how many cards we pick the same. I
Yeah, maybe
think,
it's not that much. Maybe it's very much. It's very hard to say.
well, in the category of cards we want reprinted, I'm kind of expecting an exact 5 out of 5
Oh no,
match.
I don't
But
think so. At least 3 of these cards I think you don't have. I would be really
okay, right.
surprised.
Okay.
2 cards I think we have the same, but
Okay.
yeah, but let's see.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
for the
Um.
category cards, I think we're just a short disclaimer of cards I think will be reprinted. That was the hardest for me because it's like pure
mm,
speculation, and
yes.
I think all 5 could be wrong. I picked. I don't think it's like. I don't think it's very likely or something that one of these cards will be reprinted. But if I would just guess what their idea of these card identities and stuff, color identities and
Mm,
stuff could be, and I don't think these cards will crush the game again. And then I think they are reasonable reprints and are kind of also like could be seen as a bit important for the color.
yep.
Um, would you describe that the same?
Yes. So
Yeah.
that was very similar to my thinking. So for the cards I think will be reprinted, I've tried to focus on things that are sort of not essential for balance, but that so either something that feels like the game might be a bit wonky without it, or things that are on a relatively high, like enough of a power level that they have seen play across the up to 2 years they've been printed, but have never really been these problem cards associated with the decks they were played in. So I think that to me that feels like, I'm not a game designer, but that feels like comfortable reprint space. Is this cards that people like somewhat? They've proven that they have value within the game and metagame. They have a role to play, but they're not massively splashy, big ticket sort of things that people are constantly complaining about on Twitter, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
Nice.
So I will start. Should I start with the most controversial or with the least controversial
Oh,
one?
let's get straight to the most controversial. Get it out
Most
of the way.
controversial one. My first
Mm-hmm.
card would be Popsicle. Um,
Mm.
I but it's also the most likely one to be wrong. For me, I think a lot of cards make no sense if this card wouldn't. At least from the power level there.
Yep.
I think like 6 Costa Mature. I think you should not always think in the terms of like Popsicle with him, but in terms of power level, a lot of cards make less or no sense nearly if
Mm-hmm.
Popsicle wouldn't
Yep.
exist. So I think we should give them to Blue to accept that for Blue to get it back. Because I think the whole color would be it would be really hard for them. I think if Popsicle wouldn't exist. Or
Yeah.
I mean, they could just reprint. They could just print another one cost cantrip item that wouldn't matter. But it's like, or they make it uninkable or stuff. I could see some things that could be changed. That doesn't need to be exactly a popsicle then, but
Yep.
a cantrip low cost item is probably what the color needs. And I
Yep.
guess they reprinted. It's just a guess again. Yeah, but I just
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of the cards of all, and yeah, I mean, you've launched straight into the most controversial. It is controversial, because there are so many reasons, like those you've just said, that would lead you to think this might be a likely reprint. The card it's one of those things that at first glance looks like it's an inherently sort of balanced card. It's incredibly good. It's it's one of the most powerful cards in the game, and even gets even better in conjunction with the other things it synergizes with. But it is core to that blue and red item identity. It is like very tied to some cards from sets 5 through 8 that lean heavily on that identity, which would make you think, okay, maybe it's coming back. It specifically wasn't banned when Fortosphere was banned, which makes me think maybe we were, maybe we're. So there are little indicators that suggest it might be reprinted, and yeah, I don't want to jump around between these sections, but this is in my list for cards that I hope aren't reprinted. I think it's likely that there is certainly a world where it gets reprinted. I really hope it isn't, because maybe I'll get into that when we cover the ones we hope aren't reprinted. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it scares me. But
the thing is, like, if they don't, then blue is a color that has, at least if they don't reprint, because there will not much new prints for the new set. So you could say, like, right now, blue and purple are the consistent card draw colors right now. You could say. I think you could say green a bit, like with Prince John and stuff, but it's like weird. And then the blue is completely, there's no card draw in the deck anymore. Like it's like it's demolished. Then it's like it's not existent anymore. You can use blue then for ramp, and that's it, maybe. And that's a restriction, I think, for the color as a whole. So I don't see. What do you think? It's like blue. It's only the 2 cost ramp then, or what is it else?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's boring, It's like
its whole identity outside of Porpsicle item packages is basically just ramping on its identity is Sail and Tipo for the most part, and then like some random fillers like Grammatala, that sort of thing. That manners as well, of course. But yeah, you're completely right. It's like, if you take away what is left of this card draw engine right now, which is recurring Porpsicles of Tamatoa, blue-red without a different engine, or without being blue-red items, which could of course play other items with workshop to draw cards, like, it just can't really exist, because red has no card draw, blue has no card draw. It would be so soft to discard.
It's
like, you can't just ramp ahead and have like 2 cards left in your hand in this game.
If you see the history
have to draw some behind.
History of the game, there was nearly no high competitive deck that has no draw engine. Like
you can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
And it's why something like Red Steel has never really seen any significant success.
Basically, the only reason.
There's no reliable engine there. That people have tried to build it with Whole New World, but like, the payoffs are so much lower than other Whole New World decks that it's just why would you ever play it? So yeah, I think it's a very valid point. I think in my dream world, Porpsicle doesn't get reprinted, and blue gets a new toned down draw engine so that it can continue to do some things like that.
That's possible. Maybe
That's what I'd
maybe
like
yeah,
to see.
maybe one cost uninkable popsicle or a popsicle, because like the second effect is also like sometimes relevant, and I don't think it's necessary that this card has also a second effect, and
Yeah, exactly.
or maybe you can't pop it manually. That would also be like a really constraining
Yeah,
thing, like only
or a cost to pop it,
cost to
even.
pop it, or yeah, there's the multiple reasons. You
Yeah,
can lower the power level of the card. Yeah.
yeah, totally.
So your first
Okay,
one.
well, yeah, my first one. This is way less controversial.
Mm-hmm.
My first sort of likely reprint is Fire the Cannons,
Okay, yeah.
and this is a very unexciting card to pick up, but for that reason, it's why I've chosen it. This to me looks like the definition of an evergreen card. This is like
Mm-hmm.
something that should just always exist.
Makes total
Um,
sense.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't mind seeing a functional reprint where they try pushing it. Like 3 damage is obviously way too high. Inkable is obviously way too good. I think you could have some attempt at pushing this a bit, but if you look at how this card is put together, any of the numbers tweaked up or down at all, well, down is
Mm-hmm.
obviously busted because the only card you can turn down is the 1 into 0, and then that would be pretty good.
I think
Yeah,
you can't
so
change anything. You can't. You can
yeah, I
also
don't.
can't.
It's
You
not a
can't.
changeable card.
You can't make it inkable. It would also be too good. So it's
Yep.
like it's fair like this. Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah,
That's good explanation. Yeah.
you can't change any number on this card without fundamentally breaking it and making it absurdly good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you do need steel needs very cheap spot
Yeah.
removal that
Yeah. Yeah.
is sometimes good in very aggressive metas and sometimes unplayable. So I think it's to me like a lock. This is a card that I think will be around for a long time.
Makes total sense. I didn't think about it honestly. Like, yeah, it makes total sense to me.
Hmm.
Yes.
Nice. Your next one?
My next one is, because I also think the color needs love. Is Ariel, 3-cost Ariel. I
Yep.
think it's a core identity to Amber, like the singing mechanic, and obviously I really think the Amber needs love from them, because like they have not really good cards.
Yep.
Like in total comparison, like if you build only monocolor decks, okay, they could give a decent aggressive deck, but yeah, I think they have not very many powerful cards. I think in comparison to other colors.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Um, and I think Ariel is, especially if we know Whole New World will not come back, absolutely fair. And I think it's a total reasonable. I think, especially if Whole New World doesn't exist, I don't think this card is super broken. I think it's a good card, and I think it's yeah, I think it's totally fair to them getting that back. It leaves you. I think it's also cool because, like, yeah, Ariel is a deck defining card that you could like play around, and I think it like nearly for always it was like a good designed card for me. I don't think it's yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it's a problematic card, and but still a playable and not problematic but playable card is a good card, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really good observation. What you've said there about Whole New World is that like Ariel and Whole New World have been played together since set 1.
Yeah.
It's very hard to separate the two cards in your head.
Mm-hmm.
They almost feel like extensions of each other. Ariel is a good card. It is not a busted card. It is made busted by the fact that there have been very powerful 4 and 5 cost songs to sing with it, in addition to drawing them. Its power level is like also ramped up by how important those cards are in that strategy. So often Ariel can go from feeling like a really medium core identity card in this deck to like just filling me with rage, because it's like I'm holding that. Let's say they have an Ariel in play. I've Ursulaed their Whole New World away, but I know they have a second Ariel for the follow-up turn. I don't want to bounce the first one to get them more draw or something like that, or I don't have the option to do it. So it feels like Ariel often is hiding the whole new world that they need on that turn when they have a ready singer, and it's just there's no way to prevent it outside of a Pete. You can't interact it with it. So to me, this is a card that has produced a lot of bad feelings for me personally. But you're completely right that actually, like, the card at fault is Whole New World, and we know that's not coming back. And without it, it's a very reasonable, very
Yeah, it's a draw
fair.
engine also a bit like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I don't think it's a problematic card for the meta game. I would
no,
be I don't
it's
know. Yeah.
powerful but fair.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in that realm that we were talking about for reprints of like it's iconic, performs a role really well, and you know it will see play as long as you print some playable songs. You know,
Yeah,
there need to
yeah.
be some.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
might be none, which is there aren't many that are good between sets 5 and 8, so they'll also have to be in this set. So yeah, that remains to be seen. But in theory, without Whole New World, this is a way more balanced card that's just good. And so yeah, I think it makes total sense.
Nice. Your second one?
My second one is Mufasa, Betrayed Leader.
Oh.
The legendary Mufasa. I think that Amber needs a reprint legendary that is iconic and has seen play and people enjoy, but isn't Rapunzel. Rapunzel is a contentious card in this reprint discussion as well, for something that completely defines the identity of a color, but is very, very powerful and has been incredibly widely played as a 4-of since it was printed. So to me, goes into the realms of like, don't reprint this, let's try doing something else instead. At least tone it down. So in that spot, the thing meeting that criteria for me is Mufasa, and kind of the namesake card of these character heavy decks which have really fallen off recently, but I don't think this card is ever really bad. It's just lost its meta relevance for a while. In a smaller format could easily come back. I think it's a card a lot of people have attachment to. And I honestly think it sits in that power level of good, like what a good reprint is power level wise, especially for legendaries, because the power level varies so much of legendaries in this game. Like a huge amount of them are entirely unplayable, and then some of them are completely format defining. It's really hard to find any. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, for a lot of these colors, it's really hard to work out what legendary do you reprint that enables the game to actually change without. So like for Ruby, Maleficent Dragon is a great choice as a legendary reprint. Sisu would have been terrible, for all the reasons I've just said. So yeah, I think Mufasa is
Yeah.
on that level, and I would not be shocked to see it back.
Yeah, that's I can agree. I think in general Mufasa is not a good card. I don't think he's a good card. Because I think he's only good because it's like the only death rattle effect that we ever had in
Yep.
Lorcana. Like no, not the only death rattle effect, the only death rattle effect that leaves something on the board. That's like
Yes.
very very. But in general, I think like this roulette thing is for high competitive not the greatest, but it's like still a cool card, and I think I can totally see it reprinting. But I still think that it will not be on high competitive decks probably, even
Yeah,
if it
sure.
gets reprinted. Yeah, but it's totally reasonable. Yeah.
And that's the other thing to remember as well. Sets, like every set we've seen so far, like actually quite a small percentage of the cards break through to being super meta defining.
Yeah.
And not all of these reprints will be meta defining. Some
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
them will
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be cards that they want to enable people to continue playing
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for that reason, like it's a good bet from my point of view.
Yeah. My third card is a bit boring. I want to say it's Friends on the Other Side. I think I could see them seeing that as a core purple card to exist. I think maybe not. So it's kind of weird to me. I would. It's one of the cards I would be shocked the least if it gets reprinted. I think it's like it's not exciting or something. It's like if they reprint it, I think okay, I get it. Like that's the benefit of being a purple player, is friends.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I agree somewhat because I think that other purple draw engines like Rabbit, for example, and some of the bounce effects will not be making their way back because they've been too prevalent for too long. But without those, you do need friends as your card draw payoff for playing Amethyst.
Mm-hmm.
But stay with me here. I don't think it should be reprinted. I think it's a little too good. And
Yeah, that's
something
fair.
that we need,
That's fair.
something that we need to take a break from for a while, at least explore alternatives.
The problem is just if a card is too good, which friend is it still needed to make the color be good enough, you know? Like
Exactly.
if every color has an unfair card, like friends, then it's probably okay again. But it's not like if only friends exist and no other crazy powerful card. So I can see both sides of the like you say, I can see both sides. Like it can be needed, but it can also be like not needed.
It's exactly the same as the Rapunzel conundrum, which is this card is so obviously on an absurd power level, but if you take it away, does it make an entire color unplayable? Possibly. Like possibly it does. At least some archetypes of it. And that's less true now that we have a nice wide card pool and there are different ways to build amber decks. But for a very long time, Rapunzel was an essential to play any amber deck other than Amber Emerald discard for the most part. So yeah, you have some very difficult choices to make if you're the design team at Ravensburger trying to work out which of these not just identity confirming, but like cards that essentially have entire colors on their back. Do you reprint because they're like foundational to that, or do you not because they are so powerful that they're just ubiquitous?
Yeah,
there's no right answer. So
it's relative also, like it's relative
yes,
to the cards that also like get reprinted, like okay, but
so
let's
sorry. I was just going to say, so if you made the decision to not reprint Rapunzel, suddenly the decision to reprint Friends looks very different, right? There's like one color has lost its entire
exactly
draw engine, another one has retained it. Big balance effect. Yeah, the more we talk about this, the more I realize it's incredibly difficult. I hope it works out well. There's a lot on the team's plate. My third one is a bit trickier. I'm saying that I think it'll be reprinted because I think the effect will be reprinted. It's Be Prepared. I think that every TCG needs an unconditional board sweeper or things get really bad really fast. I don't think the card printed has to be Prepared. I think they could shift something about it. But an unconditional sweeper, in the absence of Be Prepared rotating, will need to exist in this set. The game needs it, as every TCG basically does, as that I've ever played at least. So, yeah, I think it's an easy pick. The easiest thing to do is just reprint it, because it's fine. Like it's never bad. We've got to the point in the game where it is like a lot of the bad feelings it created at the start have kind of dissipated a bit as other like the relative power level and speed of the game has increased. Obviously, rotation takes us back in speed a bit, and we're at the start. It's likely to feel a bit better again, but the fundamental like needing a sweeper, I think makes it an easy choice.
Yeah, I don't have it on my list because I think it's exactly that. It doesn't need to be reprinted. I could imagine like so many things you could reprint a card like this, but still be different. Like I could imagine like in Magic, like an X effect, like pay X, and then but it's a bit more expensive then. But you can like adapt it a bit, like paying only that much that you want to remove every character with cost X or less, or something like that. Or it could be attached to a character, like in World of Warcraft we had something like that, so it can't be fizzled by spell like bit like Sisu, but it dies itself. Yeah, so there are multiple things. It doesn't need to be prepared exactly, but it's of course needed. Also, maybe I think it still needs to be red. Probably it's it's their identity. I think
If it wasn't red, you'd have to do some quite serious tuning of what red is. It would need if red is not the unconditional sweeper and Maui color, it needs a big look. Well, if it stops being the Be Prepared Sisu and Maui color, what is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, would need a big look after that.
That's maybe a good conclusion, because my fourth card is a red card also, and that's Brawl. Because I think I think nobody. It's like same with Ariel. Nobody did complain about this card, but it still was played 4 times in every red deck. You could say like which card you was played 4 times in every red deck, but nobody did complain about it. I think that's the perfect balanced card, probably.
Yep.
And
I agree.
Brawl is that. I don't think everyone will oh no, Brawl is back. I don't think anyone will complain, and I think it's a good power boost to the red color, and makes it have their how can I say it in English, like their point in comparison to other colors. Yeah, not very spectacular. It's a good reprint, I think.
Nice. I totally agree.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. Yeah, my next one is Bell, Accomplished Mystic.
Oh, okay.
5+ Bell. And this is like a bit more tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. This card, the art of this card is, I believe, printed on. We saw some pictures of Fabled products or products that come out at the same time. And I think the art of this card is on a binder that comes with one of the products. I can't even remember. I've not gone to the effort of checking or validating that this even happened, and I didn't dream it. But if I recall correctly, the art of this card is featured on a product that comes out. I don't think it's specifically a Fable product, but it's releasing later in the year alongside it. And in addition to that, I think it's like a card that can just continue to exist. It plays a specific role. It's never been terrible. It's not something that people get too mad about. It's sometimes really good, sometimes fine.
I really hope she doesn't get reprinted. I think it's
she annoys me a lot.
It's an awful design card. I think I really don't like it, because how can I say, you get punished for not playing around her, and punished that much that you most of the time instantly lose the game. But it still was not right. It still was right to not play around it, because it's so unlikely for her to happen. So it's you lose a game that you have no fault of losing. So it's this card is so linearly powerful, but in that linear case, it's so powerful that's an awful design for me. And I think I would really hate it if she gets reprinted, because I think it's just my opinion, not a good design card. It's it's so linear powerful, but in these niche cases so absurdly powerful that of course, some people maybe think you can play around her. You can play around her, but should you play around her? That's objectively always be said probably not, because it's maybe against Blurple or something, because they're really high on her most of the time. But if you play against Red Purple and then they play her as a one-off, and then you didn't play around her, and then you randomly lose the game because you didn't play around her, and then it's not a good, satisfying game experience for me. And you get rewarded for playing her as a 1 or 2 of sometimes. That I have to admit, because you catch people off guard with her very much sometimes, but on the other hand, often not. And against a lot of decks, she is absolutely useless. And then yeah, I don't think it's a good design, but I could, yeah, I wouldn't be super surprised if she gets reprinted. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Cool.
My fifth card is Maleficent Dragon. I think I could see that as a, like you say, as an evergreen card. I think it's maybe it's confirmed that it's not reprinted if you love right now.
I'm just waiting. Everyone watching is thinking, when will he tell him? Yeah, this is confirmed as a reprint.
Oh,
This is the set championship promo for
exactly.
set 9.
That's okay. We skipped that. I
Maybe
didn't.
you could speak for a moment about why it's a great reprint.
No, I really. Yeah, it's embarrassing now, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't realize it. But yeah, I
Have you
think
not
it's a
seen
good
that
reprint.
amazing art? The art looks
Yeah, I
brilliant
forgot it
on the
now.
playmat
Sorry,
for set
I
9.
forgot it. I don't care about art. People
Okay.
can laugh at me, but I think it's a good reprint because it's like core identity to red, and
Yep.
not an overpowered card, and
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's like innately balanced. It's great.
yeah.
Yeah, perfect sort of thing to come back.
Nice.
Cool.
And your fifth card?
Um, my fifth one is maybe a little controversial, and I don't want to spend too long debating it. Which is like I'm going to say something wrong now, and you can't tell me I'm wrong. No, the I've chosen Fishbone Quill. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a really powerful card that at times in this game's history people have said this is maybe a little too good, a little too efficient. But I think it's kind of an innately balanced card that really does represent a big part of a two element. Like it's that crossover between the two core points of identity for Sapphire, which is ramping and items. It's an item that ramps and has been widely played. To me,
Mm,
I think I would predict that as a rare reprint.
it's also relative if this card is too good or not. With Hiram, it was too
Yes,
good, but it's like without Hiram, without a really crazy powerful draw engine, it's possibly not too good. And
yep,
it could be a fair card if your ability to refill your hand is not crazy easy.
exactly. It's always existed
Yeah.
in the past. It's always been played alongside Hiram and Whole New World.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Blue Steel has been good. It's like you quill to get to a fast wheel and then you wheel to refill everything. With both of those cards gone, I think it's a really balanced card that still performs its role well and doesn't become unplayable.
Yes, that sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, so we made our guess. I will be excited if how many we are right. I have one that
Yep.
is already right with the Maleficent Dragon.
Yep.
But
Yeah, you get a head start.
yeah, nice. Okay, so for the next one, cards I want to be reprinted. A short disclaimer from me: I decided to pick 5 cards that I think are very skillful to play with or against it.
Okay.
Because I think that's for sure cards like that. Yeah, because I want to have skill in the game, and I think all 5 cards I picked are skillful cards that I think would be just cool to exist in the game. Cause it like it's like a better game than a more skillful game
Mm,
than that's how I approached it for the cards that I
nice.
want to be reprinted. Do you
And a
have to
short
be or
disclaimer.
yeah.
I was going to say, short disclaimer from me. I've picked cards that are crutches for me, and if they're not reprinted, I cannot be good at this game anymore.
So it's only
So,
so it's 5 times goat. It's 5 times
yeah,
goat. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's just goat 5 times. Yeah.
No, my first one, and you will laugh at me so much,
Okay.
is we talked about it yet. Is Rapunzel, because I think Rapunzel is an important card for Amber, and I think no card other than it's one of the most cards that needs to be played around so much and
Hmm.
influence the skill that much than Rapunzel. On the other hand, I can totally see people getting annoyed by playing around Rapunzels, but maybe we could just accept it. I could also see like Rapunzel a lot, like an adjusted card, like only have 4 willpower, only quest for 1, I don't know, something like that. But I don't mind that effect too much, because like a lot of games are especially against like worst players than yourself, are decided by Rapunzel. I think in one case and in the other case, like, and if you play against it and if you play with it, so it's like, I think it's a skill rewarding card, and yeah, it's love that Amber needs, in my opinion. But I totally can see people not being excited about her being reprinted. Yeah.
I see your point with it, and I think for many of us that have played the game a lot since set 1, there's a fatigue, like you say.
Yeah.
It's basically, for me, it's basically just I'm bored of playing around Rapunzel.
Yeah. I can see
I've
that.
seen all the lines so many times. I know when I can quest and when I can't, and sometimes I'm tired and I make a bad quest and I think, oh, I knew how to do that. You weren't presenting me with an interesting new puzzle. I was just too absent-minded to do it properly, and I've fallen into your trap. And so I'm bored of it, but it's like it's what you're saying is also true. Like Amber does need the love. It does need this kind of effect that's been so important to it over the last couple of years. And I think if I had to point to specific things that were like level up moments for players in this game, I think the moment when a player has properly understood how and when to play around Rapunzel is one of those cornerstones of skilling up as a player in this game. The card's been ever present, so it's always been a relevant skill to have. And many people over the 2 years that this game's been a thing can probably point to moments where they're like, at some point, I learned when my opponent's last card is Rapunzel. I learned when they were presenting me with a positive trade that if I took it, they got to draw 3 on the crackback, and then I lost the game. And it's just because I'm bored of it doesn't mean it should stop. Like
that's how I think, thought about it. Yeah, that's how, because my annoyance is not a reason, like how
yes,
can I say?
sure,
yeah.
Although, like when it comes to the long-term health and interest of a game, cards that are annoying, that does become a factor eventually. Like at some point, people want to see different play patterns. Like that's what we want from rotation. We don't want everything to just be like rabbit bounce rabbit or goat bounce goat. Turn 1 Cindy Storm. We all see these runouts exactly the same. And like a mid game that's decided by Rapunzel traps is very much one of those patterns that many people are bored of. I hope it's not reprinted. I can see the case for and against. That's just personal preference.
That makes sense that you can see both ups, good and against it. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, you're first.
Yeah, and my first one is really not controversial, and it is one of the ones that you said you thought you'd be reprinted, and it's Brawl. I hope that effects like this, like you described it really well when you said it's always been played, always as a 4 of, maybe with like very minor exceptions. It's performing a really important role within a color that needs that has removal as one of its main points of identity. If you compare it to something like Smash, for example, that was a card that was very playable for a while and then completely fell off. Eventually became sort of too slow because it was always this 3-cost card dealing with 2 drops. Not true of Brawl. Often it's like a card that gets you out of early messes, like a shifted Diablo or a Daisy. Sometimes you're essentially sort of like at least tempo-wise trading up on ink a little bit by cleaning up a Genie or an Elsa, something like that. Very flexible, good throughout the game, never broken, good anti-aggro safety mechanism and like I don't want to say Diablo because I think Diablo's never getting reprinted, but like good safeguard against things like that too. And yeah, I hope it's the kind of card that's around forever.
Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah, it's like I said in the other
Yep.
category.
Yeah, totally agree with what you said before.
Nice.
Cool.
My second card is my heart and my soul. It's Kid Cloud Kicker.
Yep.
And I hope he just returns. I think he fulfills an important role in tempo decks, and is probably a reason, an ingredient you can say that tempo decks, at least in paired with green, will still exist, or maybe like even green purple will still exist. It's a very core card to that archetype. It's at least was. It's like the perfect card for that. It's also like, it's not exactly because I love it, but maybe a reason I love it is because I think it's like a very skillful card to play with, because it like you trade your board presence for card advantage, because it's like very bad for card advantage. You could say, oh yeah, basically most of the time does even card disadvantage, and so you need to utilize him to basically utilize the tempo gained by him to win the game. And if you don't, it's not the right play, and you should ink him. So it's like, it's a very good card. I also don't think anyone complains about him too much. I think it's a reasonable card, and I don't think it's overpowered or something. It's a tempo card, and reasonable tempo card. And I could imagine they don't reprint him, but I want him to be reprinted. Yeah.
Yes, it's also my second card. It's on my list too. For all the reasons you've said, I think it's a real the skill ceiling on how you play with it is so high, and you've just articulated it really well in terms of you are trading card advantage for tempo and board presence, and the real clinchers for me are like situations where when it becomes correct to kit a genie or rabbit, even a rabbit sometimes. Like it can be right to kit a rabbit, and when it's right to kit an aerial, these sorts of things. Completely situationally relevant. There are spots where it's the worst thing you can do, and spots where it's your best line, and you need to take this advantage over the next 1 to 2 turns by slowing them down at a massive detrimental cost of card advantage. Love it. It's as a tempo tool, it's completely necessary to the game plan, I think, and it's one of my favorite cards in the game. I really hope it gets reprinted. I would love to keep playing with it.
Yeah, that would be great. At least as an option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Should I go now? Should I do another one now, or do you want?
No. Your third one.
We both had kit. I'll do another one. Okay. I'll hedge, and I'll try to also go for one that I think you've got. So I've got Ursula Deceiver. 2-cost Ursula.
No.
Do you have her?
I don't have her. No.
What? You're betraying the cause.
Yeah. First of all, I think she is too good, and I think she is like also not super necessary if still got not every single steel song back. So I think the card is too good, at least as she exists now.
That breaks my heart a little bit, but you are completely right. You're completely right that like if a lot of the best songs aren't printed, she becomes so much less relevant.
Yeah, not only this. I think she needs to be uninkable or something, because she's too good. She's too good.
It's a very flexible effect. I think, it is a card that I like openly accept is a crutch of mine. It's playing an Ursula on turn 2 is a massive part of how I play the game, and using that information has become something I've got very used to doing. Please reprint her, because I need them. And I bought these. I bought 4 such pretty 4 D23 Ursulas.
I could guess they lose a bit of value in the future.
Don't say that. She's getting reprinted. Don't worry about it. It's coming back.
My guess is she won't be reprinted. That would be my guess.
Well, I want her to be reprinted because I love the card, and I won't apologize for it.
No, you don't need to. It's also like the card, like you could see her like Friends, like just a
Yeah,
power
sure.
more powerful card than the regular 2-drop, but it's like maybe just something that green is like, yeah, like the advantage of green should be, you could say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my third one is, that you will never guess this, I think. It
It's going to be
is
something I hate, isn't it?
I don't think you hate it. It's You Have
Okay.
Forgotten Me. Um
Oh, okay.
I
Nice.
think it's a good reprint. I think it's a skillful card to play against it and to play with. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a very, I think it's also like, if you don't play it with Prince John or something, it's like also a fair card. I think you sacrifice a lot of tempo to gain card advantage, and that's fair. And I think it rewards. Yeah, it's just a good card to exist. To have in mind to play against it, and to, because sometimes if you play with the card, I played a lot of this new like Amber Steel like value deck with the card, and
Mm-hmm.
then you need to know when you win the game by depleting your opponent's hand, and it's not easy to determine that always. And I think it's a good card to exist.
Yeah,
I don't mind
I
it.
agree.
I don't think it's too good. I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
no, I agree. I think it's a great pick actually, and a card that a lot of people won't be thinking a lot about. Um, Specifically because the assumption is that Prince John won't get reprinted because
Mm-hmm.
it's a card everybody hates and recognizes that it's bad design. Which means that a lot of people aren't really thinking about cards that have been heavily played alongside Prince John. But I totally agree. I think it's a very reprintable card. It's an effect that probably best belongs with Amber,
Mm-hmm.
separated from a lot of other discard tools, that
Mm-hmm.
you are forced into this between Amber and Emerald, you're forced into this combination that has like really weak board presence. If you want to go turbo discard, you have to just your bodies just have to be mostly irrelevant. You know what I mean? Obviously, like that deck has it leverages Kida and Cricky and stuff like that to make good
Yeah.
to find good trades still, but the overall quality of the board bodies you're left in play with in that deck are like lower than a lot of the others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really great design. I think that as a pairing for discard, it's really good and where an explosive effect like this belongs. And I would love to see more. I would love to see seeing more play in a non-discard focused deck,
Mm-hmm.
like you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, Rob Serp's Amber Steel that utility Amber Steel, really cool design. I think this is a card that just totally gets them sometimes and can win you entire games. Yeah, I'm on board. It should probably stay around.
Nice. Your third one?
My third one is Merlin Crab.
Yeah, I have it on 4. Yeah, Learning
Okay,
Crab. I have to, yeah.
yes. So a lot of all of the Merlin and Mim package is very contentious. People are they quite rightly see some of it as being too powerful. Like Fox, I think in particular, is too good and shouldn't be reprinted. But Crab has a really important role to play for a lot of decks in enabling them to make decent early game trades and specifically do things like banish locations. I don't, first of all, I don't like a lot of the good locations we've seen rotate out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them came in early sets. So maybe the quality of locations just goes down massively, and we don't need Crab quite so much.
I
But
think Crab is
um,
also an
it,
important card for Amethyst removal. It's
yeah,
just a
it
removal
is.
card. Yeah.
It's your removal. It's like it's your
Yeah.
turn three removal tool.
Yeah.
And yeah, just for a multitude of reasons, it's a strong but balanced card. Occasionally, it's going to annoy you because there are spots where it just really pops off and gets a lot done. But
Mm-hmm.
I would be a bit concerned about the state of Amethyst without an effect like this. If we so you know, like right now, you basically your tools in Amethyst decks for ensuring you remove something on turn three are basically Fox and Crab. Fox is kind of universally agreed this card is too good, at least a little bit too good. So without Fox, if we assume no Fox, I'd be really scared about no Crab. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We,
makes
we
sense.
it
I
becomes
could also see
so
the card.
painfully slow.
I could also see the card a bit like adjusted a bit, like only have 2,
Yes.
3 or something. But yeah, I fact like this is maybe it's just in our mind, like identical to purple. But it's
Yeah, maybe
like
because we played with it so much.
yeah,
And we did just get that Yelana printed in the last set, the
yeah,
2/3 2
yeah,
lore
yeah.
that pumps something by 2, but only on the way in. It's a
Oh,
very powered down crab.
yeah, yeah.
I certainly hope I don't have to rely on that card, but maybe I will have to.
At least request for 2. Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly. It is a
yeah.
better quester. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my fourth was also crap. So your fourth.
No,
You
you
can
go
just
now. We flip back to you now. You
okay.
can pick number
My
5.
fifth card is also, I think also you wouldn't guess it, but it's like Super Goof. I think it's a cool card that needs to be played around. It opens a lot of like a bit more aggressive red strategies to could maybe work. And it's also one because like I said, I picked all 5 cards that are skill influential, and I think this card is also very skill influential. To play against it and also like to play with it, because you like sometimes need to know when you can close out your games with some super goofs and stuff. And I think it's a good card. I also don't think it's super busted or something, and it's a problematic card. I think it's a fair card.
No.
Yeah, I think it's probably not very spectacular, but I think it's a reasonable reprint in my opinion. Yeah.
It's one of those cool cards that's doing, or maybe it's not actually doing this because it hasn't seen hugely wide play. It's just kind of like a red-blue tool, but it threatens to do a few different things, right? It's a rush character that's going to help you interact fast on your probably 3rd turn if you're ramping, or 4th turn if you're just playing some sort of really mid-range deck. It's gaining lore with it opens up these lines for multiple challenges in one turn if you can ready it and gain a big burst of lore, which has meant that in the past people have looked at it for aggressive strategies as well. Or like super like red purple aggro decks, for example, have looked at it. It has a few very different use cases for different player groups, which is really cool to see in a card, and is right on that power level of good role player, does good things sometimes, and is occasionally unplayable. I think it's a great choice, and I'd be more than happy to see it stick around.
Nice. And your 5th one?
Right, this is a real cop-out. Don't. No, this is like I'm not going to talk about this for long because I'm not even excited that I picked it. But if you take away Crab, you have to give me Cricky. I can't not have Cricky.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I really see the two as closely tied together, right? Basically, if
sense.
Crab is deemed, if we want to throw out the whole Mim Merlin package, fine, and Crab has to go with it, I'm cool with that. As long as I can Cricky, at least enable me to do that on a later turn. I think Cricky is it can be quite a skill intensive card. It's certainly it enables massive swings in games. It's a big kind of blowout thing. It's both a good tool for, like I say, removing locations, as well as just huge, massive trade ups across the board.
And racing.
I really like the card. And it does have a bit of that, like what you were saying about Bell. Like it's occasionally like a bit of a gotcha, Like it's a classic 1 or 2 of that you can't really play around, but then sometimes they play it and you just lose the game. That sort of sucks. But I think green needs this effect in some form.
What I don't like about Cricky, or what an argument for me would be like to not be reprinted, is like I didn't get it since the beginning. Why Cricky? I mean, why is green? Because like it's not a green effect for me. It's like
it doesn't feel like a green card at all.
Yeah. No, it's. But I think it's not a big issue. But it's like it's not a green it's not a green card for me. Like it's a purple card or
No, that is an
something.
interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah, design-wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But
Yeah, I mean, we had some other effects like the Megara, the Z1 stuff,
mm,
but yeah, in general, I don't think it's a green card. But
mhm,
also, it isn't a big problem or something that it's green, but it speaks a bit
no,
against it. But I don't. I think it's reasonable reprint. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice,
So now it
cool.
comes to spicy one. A spicy one because I
Yeah,
think all of the 5 cards we have the same. No, actually, I think if I look at my list, I think only 3 of them I'm pretty sure you have the same, but 2 of them
yep.
maybe you have not the same.
Well, I'll
Um,
give you a small spoiler.
yeah.
One of them you've already changed my mind on through this
Oh.
conversation today. One of them I would know if we were doing the list now, I
Ah,
wouldn't
okay,
include it.
okay. Nice. So we start. I think we start with the first one was Prince John for
Yes,
me, and
agree.
you have probably 2.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy. I don't want to blame them, but it's a big design issue. I think the card. It also like showed us how what characters that have no purpose on questing are bad because like they are
Yep.
completely uninteractable in this game. And so what characters are fine for me if they are supposed to exert at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Prince John isn't that. And card advantage value as engines are not problematic in itself, but only if you can't interact with them, and that's Prince John. Like we have
Mm-hmm.
some other card advantage engines that there's no issue in that. But if we can't do anything against it, I think I don't need much arguments probably to speak against Prince John being reprinted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
It was the problem with Bucky when Bucky
yeah.
got errated. In terms of healthy design, a card that has ward, which means obviously having ward, you can't target it with effects that would remove it otherwise. It needs to be exposed to something other than a sweeper
Mm-hmm.
if it's going to have a static effect as powerful as this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're I totally, even though I think the card is bad design, I totally see why it was designed the way it was, right? Which is
Yeah.
like
Yeah. A bit.
you
Yes.
want this. It's on a really fragile body. You give it ward so that it can't just be picked off immediately, and
Yeah.
it's designed to sit there and provide this static effect for at least a few turns, or at least a couple of turns, get you some value back. I can see why you would logically think, right, this needs to be this is a powerful effect, so the character is weak. You give it ward so that they can't just pick it off really, really effectively, and it gives it a chance of sticking around for a bit. In practice, powerful static effects on ward characters is just not good design.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah, like I say, it
I
was
also
the fundamental problem with Bucky. It's the fundamental problem with Prince John. It's the fundamental problem with another card that I suspect we'll both talk about very shortly.
Yeah, I think Also, I think the additional thing for them was like they probably thought you instantly lose against aggro if you slam it on Prince on turn 3, and
Hmm.
then it's kind of dead sometimes, but not enough.
Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nice.
We don't need much
Um,
arguments, I think.
no. So yeah, the card attached to that is Muses for me.
Yeah, I have also
I
muses.
I have
Also, we have
I,
4 the
I
same. I didn't know if you have muses on that, but
oh
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So we have 4. I guess we have 4 cards that are the same. Yeah,
I
muses
think
I
it's
have
still
2.
going to be 3.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay,
but yeah, Muses
yeah,
for the exact same reasons we just said for
yes,
Prince John. Static effects on characters with ward that don't need to exert to keep doing their stuff fundamentally leads to bad feelings, very frustrating to play against, completely non-interactive. What we've seen with these cards is that as the formats have become faster and it's become harder to like reliably get to these turns where you're able to sweep the board or use unconditional sweepers, it's even the one way that you have to interact with them is often unviable because they've discarded your hand aggressively before you get to the ability to do these things that would get rid of these cards. So yeah, I don't want to labor on that. It's just For me, I'd much rather that Muses had a larger body and no ward.
Yeah.
Keep the effect if you like. Like, it's good. It's thematic. It's effective, but I just get rid of the ward on these characters. I really don't like it.
Yeah, the problem is some people might say, how can I ever win against aggro with like green yellow discard or something if I don't have her? I think it's a valid point, but it's still like then at least remove the ward thing.
Yeah, this is why I say, like, so imagine this card as a 3/4 without ward. That's a significant nerf.
Yeah.
It would still be reasonably challenging for an aggro deck to take it out.
Yeah.
You gain a bit of ability to trade with it in addition to bouncing on some of these turns if you want. But it becomes so much more interactive for the format as a whole. I think, yes, the case for keeping is so much stronger with Muses and Prince John. Prince John's like, just get this card gone. But Muses is, you can make a much stronger case for keeping it. I think for me, this is like a please functionally reprint this card rather than printing it in its exact form, so that we can have a version that's better in some ways at the cost of removing ward. Feels like that's the sort of outcome I want.
Nice. Okay, so my second one is Diablo. I don't want this card to return, and I'm continuing to say I don't think its power level is too good. I deny that, but I think it's not a good design card because like these non-games he provides is just stupid. And I don't need more reasons, honestly. Like, it's like this too much explosiveness, but in the other hand, it's like, other than shifting, this card is just garbage most of the time. But it's like, if you shift it so crazy powerful, then it's absurd. And then it's like this also, like, do you have the answer on turn 3? Yes, and then okay, and no, then you lose. That makes no sense in like a card game, I think. Or shouldn't exist. How can I say? Shouldn't exist. Do you have it also on your list? Yeah.
No, Diablo is not on my list. I do agree, but I just didn't put it on my list. I think it's like it's almost for me like too obvious.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be. It's one of those cards that I think has probably come the closest to having some sort of ban or errata action without it happening. And I don't think it's because of power. Like you say, at times I've been really frustrated by the card and have supported people saying, when people have been calling for bans, I've kind of supported that a little bit because I'm so tired of it and it's just really, really annoying, and the non-games are just horrible. But it's, for me, it's such a clean. I've actually come round to it. I think as the format has deepened and the card pool's got bigger, it's really settled into a point where it's the least problematic it's ever been, but it's also still just such a clear case of do not reprint. Ultimately, they made the right call not taking any ban action against this card. I think. But it's not a card you ban, but it is a card you don't reprint. At least for a while.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yes, your second.
The one that I changed my mind on, because you actually made a really, really good point that I hadn't considered, and I was just voting purely with emotion, is Ariel, Spectacular Singer.
Oh, okay.
I have hated this card for such a long time. It constantly, I most dislike it for its ability to, you use your Ursulas to prevent the whole new world, and then they just find the next one when they've already set a Singer up. You can't prevent that from happening. I recognize this is uniquely frustrating for me in the way that I like to play the game, and so it's just like, just let me have my moment of like personal whining. But like, what you said before makes so much sense. I now wouldn't include it in the list. I think it's a totally fair card in the absence of some of these really powerful songs. Like, those are the things you don't reprint. especially Whole New World. So, yeah, I think Aerial, when like your best option is a Sing Together, Beyond the Horizon rather than Whole New World, is a very different card and can stay. But I'd put it on my list as don't want it
I
reprinted.
know what you mean. I know what you mean, and
Yeah,
it can be like on the other side, on the other side, very fast. But it also depends on the songs that exist. Yeah, like
yeah,
I think without
yeah. I
Holy
mean,
Word, it's not a problematic card. Without Holy Word, yeah.
there's a lot of when I'm thinking about like cards I don't want reprinted, I'm thinking in terms of what things do I really hate, what annoys me. Aerial is a card that basically it gets hate for other cards' sins. It isn't Aerial that's the problem. It's these other moving parts around her. One of which I suspect we also both have on our list.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Okay.
want to go for a next one?
Yeah. My third is I think you have her too. That's Sisu, the big Sisu.
Oh, I
I
don't.
Oh,
No.
you don't? Oh,
No,
crazy.
but I agree.
Uh,
I
um,
completely agree. It should be there instead of Aerial on my list. I despise
um,
this card.
I I think it's a messed up card, and I
Yep.
say that as a green purple player, so take it with a bit of yeah. But it's also a card I think could be adjusted a bit. I think that she quest for 3 is absolutely absurd
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
swings games too fast.
Yep.
Also, maybe it's just a bit like a personal thing that I'm totally annoyed by that effect, and I don't want this. I don't want to play another four sets against this card, and
No.
always think about, oh, I should leave because like Koi will still be there, and if like Caesar is, oh, that's it's there's a lot of. I think it doesn't need to be Sisu to have board web effects in red. There could be like so many other things you could do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the power level is too high, just because of the quest for 3 thing. I think,
Yep.
yeah, and I that's one of the most cards I'm annoyed with. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
totally
problem. Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Yes, my reasons on that, as I've kind of said in the past, it places way too much of a deck building burden
Mhm,
on the format. It's
mhm,
way
mhm,
too constraining
mhm.
on deck building. It's
Th-
just like it's
That's
annoying
true.
for
That's additional. Yeah.
the exact same reason as Diablo, which is that for a long time every deck needed reliable Diablo answers. You had to put these things in your deck, or you were limited in what you could play because of the outsized impact that one of these cards was having. I don't fundamentally disagree. I don't think it's fundamentally wrong that you should have to play silver bullets for specific things. Like
Mhm.
if the format is full of Diablos and you have to concede by playing a couple of fire cannons in your deck,
Mhm.
fine, not a problem. But Sisu's pressure, because the card is so powerful and was so ubiquitous for a while, you were completely constrained in the sort of 2 strength and below things you could play. There were some cards that were rendered almost entirely unplayable because they just fold to Sisu. And yeah, I would really be glad to see the back of that card. It is miserable, truly miserable card to play against.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, let's hope. Let's hope.
Mm.
I have only one card left. That's not. But what's your third?
I've got 2 left. I've got Let the Storm Rage On.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
um yeah, really a really quick story about this card. I don't know if this is a story I've told you before. When I have conversations with friends that play Magic, I get every few months I
I
go
know where
and
this leads.
yeah, you know this story. Every few months I go and do like a cube draft with Magic playing friends
Mm-hmm.
from back in the day, and they none of them play Lorcana, but they always take an interest because they know I'm heavily invested in it, and they've asked me lots about the game. I explain to them how the game works at a basic level, And first of all, they can't get around the fact that so they don't like that you can't really interact outside of spot removal with things until stuff's exerted. That's like a fun. That's a core part of the game design of this game. But to them, in their mind, coming from that game, they say, well, surely that means that there's a massive like aggressor's advantage, and aggressive decks are really, really good in the game because you just play it
Yeah.
and then you wait and turn it side. Wait, if they don't remove it, you turn it sideways. Like basically in their terms, this is like a misread of the game. But in terms of like when they're hearing that for the first time, they say so it's like every first attack is unblockable for each character. And the answer to that is well, sort of. Like that's a massive reduction. It's not doesn't really reflect it, but kind of true. So then they ask, is the game completely dominated by aggressive decks? And I say, no, it's not. And they go, why is that then?
Yeah, but no. But that, yeah, but just sorry, continue. I tell my thing then.
Yeah, so they say, why is the game not? Why are these aggressive strategies not really just wildly amazing? And I say, well, in Magic, you have a card called Electrolyze. This is a sort of classic card that's been around for a long time in older formats. It deals 2 damage and draws a card. The 2 damage is spread as you like, so it is better than Storm, but it costs 3 mana in Magic. And I say, because Electrolyze exists in this game, and it costs 0 if you turn a 1-cost character sideways, if you just tap a 1-cost character. And they go, oh, okay, so I understand why aggro is not playable. And yeah. That story is a really, really long-winded way of saying
No, I don't want to
that
be.
Cindy Storm has always been way too good. It's ridiculously snowbally.
But
It is absurdly punishing for being on the draw. I just get this card out of there. I don't want to. I think that.
Is it not Cinderella
Singapore...
then?
Huh? Well, yeah. I mean, whatever. I don't mind, but I'd rather just like get Storm gone. Because
but I think
if
you
if
can't
you tone
compare
down
this.
the songs,
You can't compare this too much with the Magic because, like,
no, you
in
can't.
Magic,
No, it's not a fair comparison.
in Magic, all quests for its strength. You know, like
Exactly.
if like Smee quested for 3 or like Banzai quested for 3, it would be a different thing. But it's still a good comparison because, like, to explain other people what the comparison is. But I think they constrained it a bit with this, like, that all characters quest not for the strength they have, and all aggressive characters in the game are very low statted. Like, if, for example, Pinocchio,
very, very low.
Because like an aggressive character, Magic has, like, I don't know, for 2 costs like 4/1 and has haste or something. I don't know, and it's still like a good body, or at least trades with everything. It's not like a Pinocchio, but I think it's like it's still a good way to describe other
It's really not a perfect comparison at all. There are so many problems with drawing that comparison, but the core point is basically just to say, like, let the Storm Rage on in conjunction with Cinderella. It goes beyond beyond good cheap spot removal.
This I agree.
Unbelievably pushed. The fact that it redraws is just just almost unthinkable. Some of those early songs, those steals, just early songs in general from early sets, there were some lessons that had to be learned there about which effects should be singable, which shouldn't. And actually, I do think that cheap singable spot removal should exist. Like, I'm all for. Some people disagree, but I think Strength of a Raging Fire is a card that should continue to exist in the game.
Way more messed up than
You think Strength's way more messed up? I think that because it only really comes online after like your 3rd turn.
And then wins you the game, you mean, against everything? That's also like
sometimes it does. Sometimes it does win you the game. Yeah.
No, it's like it's a weird conversation because, like, both cards are. I think I didn't put one of these into my list because I'm really confident saying that not both of them get reprinted, but maybe I'm wrong. So I don't compare. I don't mind if Storm comes back if Cindy doesn't. and on the other way
Yeah.
around too. So I think it's like not a thing I need to think about. Hopefully.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I mean, I hope so too. But Storm, the whole Cindy Storm, just the iron grip that's had on the game for such a long time. Just
yeah, that's.
man,
I think
please,
that's
just like
reasonable.
every card just involved in that whole mess. Like you could just please get rid of all of them.
Yeah,
But
that
I
makes
wouldn't.
sense.
I would be not that mad if Strength stayed. It's a really powerful card, but maybe I'm just a bit biased. But yeah.
No. I think it's reasonable, and I think many people will agree with you. Okay, so my last card, and that's the most
Mhm.
obvious. Everyone who knows me knows how much I hate this card, and it's Mr. Smee.
Mhm.
I I I think it's the most obvious messed up card of the game. It's
Yep.
the most obvious for me. It's like even more obvious than Prince John because Prince John has no comparison, and Mr. Smee has every 2-drop in the game as a comparison, and every 2-drop stinks in comparison to him. I think it's the card they put into the game and then thought, oh, okay, that was a mistake, and then we don't redo this mistake. So I would be really surprised if they reprint it, and I think it's also it's one of the cards that I how can I say I raged about the most because it's like this unfair disadvantage that I have without
Mm.
any reason, like without any reason. I have a disadvantage. They just played a 2-drop. I think any deck that has like goals to board game in the early game has a yeah. It's just a messed up card. I don't know that
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
there's everything in this card is too much. Let him quest for 1. Let him have only 2 willpower. I don't know. Take everything. Take something back. Take something away from him, and he would be
Mm.
fine. But it's just maybe it's not the most format breaking card of all of them I picked, but it's like the most obvious overpowered card for me. And then it's
Yeah.
like,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's like you say, that's not surprising to me. I know that you have been a very vocal Smee hater for a very long time, and it's really hard to argue with that with that. And I don't want to argue with it because I think you're right. But yeah, it's not my last card.
Mm-hmm.
My last card, as I alluded to earlier, is Popsicle.
Ah, yeah, true. I forgot.
I
Yeah.
I really hope it doesn't get reprinted. And the chief reason for that is if it does, I'm a bit terrified about Blurple as a deck. Blurple
Mm-hmm.
has risen, it has continuously risen in viability, playability over the last few sets, picking up new staples along the way. And if Porpsicle is reprinted, Blurple as a deck retains Porpsicle, 3-cost Bell to play or field Porpsicles early,
Mm-hmm.
Tamatoa for recurring or Porpsicles, Sail, Tipo, Genie, Elsa,
Iago.
Finders Keepers, Iago,
Everything except
a
Hades.
bait.
Everything.
Yeah, everything except Hades, which I should also say was a reasonably high pick for me
Yeah,
on
yeah, that's
likely
true. Yeah.
Sapphire legendary reprints. There aren't many impactful Sapphire legendaries from early sets. It's basically 4-cost Bell from set 1.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Hades, and maybe I'm forgetting something
A
from one of
lucky
those early
time.
sets.
Lucky time.
Oh, Lucky Dime. Oh,
Mm,
that's a much better shout. That's way more likely.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're clever. Um, yes, I should have thought about that. Yes, okay. Hades is actually a very big problem to lose it if they do indeed lose it. But aside from
Wow.
that, in terms of decks that port their core, I'd be concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I
that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. I didn't think about it too much, to be honest. Just from a deck's perspective, from a deck building perspective, I just saw
mm,
it as a like a singular card to see.
yeah.
But that's maybe a too practical. I don't. How can I say? Like, I don't think they thought about it when designing the deck. How good Blurple is.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'd be really surprised if that was a factor in the decision making at all, because these decisions on sets are made so far in advance,
Yeah.
and really the rise of Blurple has been relatively recent. If it's really the last couple of sets where it's kind of fully come into this power level it's at now. So might have not been on the radar at all. I've put it in the category because I don't want that to happen, but it's worth saying I do still think it very much could happen. And certainly
That
a
makes
lot of
sense.
people, if it does happen, certainly a lot of people would be looking at Blurple for one of their easily portable decks into the new format.
And we green purple enjoyers, we cry.
Exactly, yeah, we
Yeah.
would be very unhappy with that, because, well, basically for us, like, we would be able to smash Blurple quite reliably, but the variance of their draws, like
Yeah.
whether Bell versus no Bell draw,
Yeah.
it completely throws things out,
Yeah.
which is quite sad. I would like to see those kinds
Yeah,
of,
that would. I would also be. Yeah, if you say that. Yeah. Yeah. I think I
those
agree.
kind of high variance draws, like,
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
have a Diablo Shift versus not? Do I have Cindy Storm versus not? Do
Yeah.
I have Bell
A
Portable versus
Bell is a
not?
messed up card. It's like
Yeah,
that would be also one of my first. If she would be like set 1 to 4, that would
yeah,
be like also one of my cards to hope be not be reprinted.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to live with her a bit more. But if Popsicle doesn't get a reprint, I think she's basically unplayable.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree.
Yes, nice.
Cool.
So we actually had only 2 cards the same. We had only Prince John and Muses.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me.
Well, I mean, that's mostly because I forgot about Sisu and Smee.
But not about
And
Diablo.
Diablo. I just
Uh,
sort of forgot these really powerful cards existed, and I just pure. My list is probably just like things I lost to today. It's like recent memory
but
bias.
I did put Maleficent on the likely be reprinted thing, so I had
You
to
did do
be.
that, and it's hard to argue with you because it's very likely it gets reprinted.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that was cool. I'm excited to rewatch it like in like 2 months and see what we guessed right and what not, and what's. I think that was at least will be very exciting. I hope for the listeners too.
Yeah.
To like theoretically talk about all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that, and it gets me really excited for rotation to come. There are so many things that I think it'd be a really, really exciting reveal season. This spoiler season is going to be very, very different to other ones because the overall impact of each spoiled reprinted card on what the format looks like is way, way higher than
Way
usual.
higher.
So most of your spoilers in most spoiler seasons are like completely negligible.
Yeah.
They're just cards that maybe someone plays, they probably don't ever touch. And everyone is way too high on some of these on a lot of these cards just because they're new. Well, actually, a lot with a ton of these cards being reprints, you can actually make very good judgments from the off because you've already seen how playable they probably are in the existing environment. And there are specific cards that the moment they're spoiled, they fundamentally change the new format. They define what these things look like, which should make the whole spoiler season really exciting. And yeah, we are getting a spoiler for the cast again, which is great. We will have ours. I don't think I can say when yet, but we will have one, and I hope it is very good. I hope we get one of those
Yes.
really impactful cards, even if it's one that I've just said I don't want to be reprinted.
Yeah.
I would like it to at least be a point of discussion that people enjoy chatting about, or maybe don't enjoy chatting about. You know, if we, for example, got Prince John as a reprint, I don't think that would be a fun conversation for a lot of people, but I do think that video would get a lot of views.
That
so
would get, and we would be hated. Like we lose a lot of followers after the.
Yeah. You don't want to build that association. You don't want to be the people that told they say like, don't shoot the messenger. You really don't want to be the person that turns up with the news Prince John is back for another year. Just don't. Anything to not be that person is good.
Well, it's actually 2 years because it's like
true.
Yeah,
It's 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. I don't even. I'm choosing to not even imagine it. It's just.
Okay, nice. Okay, it was a long episode today. I think it was still worth it. Thanks everyone for. Or do you have anything to add?
Just really the only other thing I wanted to touch on really quickly today, and I just want to sort of cover this as a point of whenever I've been critical of something, I also want to be like receptive when it changes. So I really did at some point just want to say, like, when we got the news for the upcoming competitive season and there were fewer DLCs in Europe and North America, I was very critical of that, and I said, to me an element is missing. Where is my other mid-tier path to Continentals? We've now had it confirmed that there will be that some of these events will offer that. There will be some of these events that are currently just like high pricing third-party events will probably be converted into or may have some. We know no details yet. There's no details revealed, but there will be invites somewhere, which is, and I just want to say, like, that's basically exactly what I asked for. Is some of these prestigious tournaments, put them on the path to Disneyland, incentivize me, make me feel like participating in these tournaments is also part of that journey, and that's all I want. So yeah, I just wanted to like give credit where credit's due. I said only one element was missing. Obviously, we all always want more of everything that we enjoy. So, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't still like more, but just fundamentally, I am happy that the element I felt was missing now seems like it's going to be delivered. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. So not.
Yeah,
if I'm really
good.
critical of something, then I also need to acknowledge that, like, I basically got what I asked for, which is great, and I'm really happy with.
Yeah, I think most people are satisfied now, and that's their doing. Yeah, that's for sure. Cool. Yeah. Nice. I have to. Yeah, but even for me, there are more opportunities now, like in Asia. So it's like really cool. So that they really heard to that, and it still feels like they adapt to people's needs, and yeah, that's cool to hear.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Yeah, then we close it now, I guess, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm all done.
Thank everyone for watching. Till next week, and yeah, thanks for watching, and bye bye.
Bye bye.